All right, everyone. So I've got a couple of requests here to go over homework 3, question 17, and getting at the question of what is the level of planned investment in this economy that's depicted on the graph we see here. So we've got a lot of information here. We've got 4 different lines kind of depicting this consumption and consumption plus planned investment, then adding government expenditures and adding net exports to get to this aggregate expenditure curve way here up here at the top. Right, so again, the question is, question 17 says, what is the level of planned investment spending? Okay, so that's the question that we're trying to answer here. How do we do that? Given we've got all these lines here, we've got a few pieces of information. What's the strategy here? So the thing to note here is that planned investment spending is fixed in our model. What this means is that it's going to change by the same amount no matter what the level of Y is, right? So if Y is 0, our planned investment spending is going to be a certain amount. If Y is 1,000,000, it's going to have the same amount, right? So it's not changing based on Y, right? So not changing when Y changes. That's what we mean by fixed. Okay. Now, what that does for us is it allows us to just find a difference between our consumption and planned investment spending line, and that difference will be able to tell us that this is the exact level of planned investment in our economy. So what do I mean by that? Let's look at Y equals 700. So when Y is equal to 700, we know a few things. First, we're in equilibrium. We know that because way up here, we've got Y equal to AE. We've got $700 in aggregate expenditures when there's $700 in output. All right, so we're at an equilibrium right here. Now, in order to get to that equilibrium, we know that consumption is equal to 450. So we can see that just by looking at this point right here, just making that dot a little bit bigger there, and saying that we got $450 in consumption at this point. But also, if we go to the line above it, consumption plus investment, or planned investment spending, is equal to 525. So what we know from this is that at $700 in production, or $700 in GDP, consumption is 450, consumption plus planned investment spending is 525. This means that in order for us to figure out what planned investment spending is, all we've got to do is subtract 450 from 525, or take the difference between these two lines. What is that difference? That difference is 75. That means that this area right here is $75 or 75 units, however you want to measure this. So this difference of 75 is exactly equal to the planned investment spending amount. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see how that question maps to this graph here. I could have done the same thing and said, what is the level of G if I told you this value right here, right? So if that fell somewhere between 600 and 650, right, whatever that number is, you just subtract it from 525, and that would give you your government spending or government expenditures. So, all right, so play around a little bit more with this, and hopefully this clears up any issues you might have had. All right, see you guys next time.